the seeker knows that he is the only existence, everything else that is seen as the phenomenal world is only conceptual. It is an illusion. The reality is something and we accept it as something else. The famous example is of clay and pot. There is no separate existence there for the jar or pot. Other than clay, nothing exists. The jar is made of clay and it is not going to die. We can change its form, but it will stay on. Through this example, we can know the difference between Jivan Mukta and a normal person. For a normal person, the reality is jar and not the clay. For him, what he sees is the reality. When one accepts that he is the Satchit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss, and is absolute Brahman, then that is his enlightenment and reality. That is how one becomes a Jivan Mukta. In Shloka 56, the same idea is explained in a different way. This shloka also talks about how Brahman is all-pervading. In Upanishads, it is said Brahman is everywhere. Brahman alone is there. Now, how do we conceive and accept this idea that Brahman is everywhere? Brahman is always complete. You cannot divide existence. Existence is without attributes and it is always complete. So, consciousness without attributes is complete. Swamiji explained what consciousness with attributes means. When I say my consciousness, I am limiting consciousness with this individuality. If I say my mind, my consciousness, it is only me. I do not see as all-pervading. Therefore, I am limiting the consciousness, existence, and experience with my body, mind, and intellect. If you remove all the conditions, all the delimiting factors, then what remains is Purnam. We fill ourselves with the vast space. Space is everywhere and is always full and complete. You cannot divide space and so it is always full. Then Swamiji explained in great detail the famous mantra, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevava Shishyati. This mantra is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad of Shukla Yajurveda. The 5th chapter starts with this mantra. It is one of the greatest mantras in our Vedas. Purna means complete, full, infinite, always filled and indivisible. The mantra says Brahman, which is the ultimate cause of creation, is full. If Brahman is creating something or is being created, then it can only be created full. The fullness cannot be divided because if you divide fullness, then that Brahman cannot be called full. Swamiji also pointed out that this infinite cannot be limited or conditioned by time. Then why does an individual always search for complete satisfaction or completeness? According to Vedanta, for an individual, this is meaningless discussion because the producer of this individual is full and complete. So this individual is also full and complete. Unfortunately, the problem is that this individual does not accept that I am the son of that great God who is omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. This unacceptance is the cause of all the troubles and worries. So one has to accept the reality of that Brahman and that you are not different from that. Till this shloka, Bhagavad Father Shankaracharya ji has explained Brahman with characteristics, the nature of Brahman with positive qualities. In the 57th shloka, Acharya ji discusses another method of Vedanta. It is the method of negation or Neti Neti Prakriya. What is not Brahma is negated. When you experience the reality of Brahma, you will also experience the nature, the Surupam of Brahma. But you cannot experience the absence of Brahma. In Vedanta, this is the easiest way to understand Brahman as a reality. The attributes that are superimposed on Brahma should be removed. This is the Vedantic method of negation or process of negation. Any object in this world that we see has parts. If it has parts, then we can separate or divide that. It is not possible with bliss of Brahman. The Anandam of Brahman is partless, Akhanda Ananda. Jivan Muktas experience and realize this Brahman this way. This is a famous word in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, neti neti, or not this, not this. This method of negation can be used as a technique of meditation, and ultimately we can experience that when no other attributes or experience is there, then I myself remains. Non-existence gives existence to all others. I give reality to my experience. So, my being real, the I being real, makes all others seem to be real. So, the underlying reality is me. Underlying existence, the substratum of all thought process is me alone. This is how we can meditate on this. Follow this and try to experience what Acharya ji is trying to teach us on this matter. Swamiji concluded with this statement. Now let us listen to Pujya Swamiji. Hari Om.
श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्य कृतो वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ तपोपिक्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वेतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधोऽभिधीयते श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम नमो नारायण to all. Welcome. Now we are in the last part of Atmabodha. In these slokas, Sri Bhagavatpada Shankaracharya ji is taking some mantras from Upanishads and giving their meaning, the essence of those mantras. As we have seen in last sloka, the mantra was in that sloka as Purnamata Purnavitam. And now in this 58th sloka, There is a mantra again in Bradharanyaka Upanishad, 4th chapter, 3rd Brahmana. So that mantra is going to be explained in a condensed way. Actually, the same mantra is there also in Taittiriya Upanishad, Brahmanandavalli. So we see that how Brahman is the highest Ananda, highest bliss. That unbroken bliss, infinite bliss. So that is explained in this. We see the shloka. Akhandanantarupasya tasyanandalavashritaha brahmadhyastaratamyena bhavandyanandinokhilaha. Akhanda anantarupasya tasya anandalavashritaha brahmadhyaha taratamyena bhavanti anantino akhilaha. When we see in this world, people are happy, all the whatever we see outside, there is a comparison of happiness, comparison of bliss. Some are more happy, or some are less, or some are lesser. So this comparison shows there is a highest comparison. In that level, there is something highest, the ultimate. Because comparison always shows that it goes to the highest point. Otherwise, no meaning of comparison. So from the lower level, it grows up to the highest level. Now, how this can be understood? In the case of Atma, in the case of self, what we experience. So this point is discussed here. Now we know the essential nature of Brahman is Satchidananda. So there is no doubt that Brahman has bliss, Ananda. But what degree of Ananda? So that the degree of comparison is intended. If we don't know in what degree, so we may not try to obtain that. If we know that Ananda, that bliss is in highest degree, so we will be very much inspired to get that Ananda. This is always in all our life. We always compare things. We have some measurement in our mind for each action and whatever we obtain, whatever we experience. We can't live without comparison, without that, measurements. We need measurements. So in this case also, Shruti gives a measurement how much Atma has that bliss. So Akhanda Ananta Rupasya. Akhanda. Khanda means finite, or which has something, which has some breaks or limited. It's called Khanda. So finite or limited. Akhanda means unlimited, infinite. It has no breaks. So Akhanda Ananda Rupasya. Now the nature of Brahman is infinite bliss, unlimited bliss. So from that Brahman, Tasya Ananda Levashitaha. So that Ananda, from that Brahman, Ananda Levashitaha. So small particles, small parts of Ananda. So Ananda Lavashita. So all other beings who is enjoying that bliss, they are only enjoying a small part of that. Lava means very little, tiny particles. That's called lava. So Ananda Lavashitaha. So they are living with a very minute part of that bliss. Who are getting those from Brahmananda, Brahmadhyaha. Brahmadhyaha, Brahma we know, the mythological creator is called Brahma. So the creator and other deities. The creator and other deities, they enjoy a very tiny part of that Ananda, that bliss. Now you see, if the creator of world, creator of the universe, the mythological Brahma, if he is getting a little of that Ananda, then one can imagine how would be that Ananda. So Brahmadhyaha Taratamyena. Now comes the main point. Now how those Brahmadhya, creator and other deities enjoy the Ananda, in what degree? It is said Taratamyena, in suitable ratio, in comparison. So in a particular proportion, they get the Ananda. It's not unlimited. So that this proportionate Ananda is there for them. Now the reason for that proportion, it is said in the Shastras. Now why Brahmaji is getting more Ananda and Indra is getting lesser, and other deities, other devatas, they are getting even lesser, and the human beings getting much lesser. So now what is the reason? When we see, in this creation, even with our friends, all human beings, when we see, there also this comparison is proportionate. Not all human beings, they are getting the same bliss, same ananda. Each person has a different ratio, symmetrically or relatively different. Now, what is the reason for that? It is interesting why we are getting the amount of happiness in different level or different ratios. What is the reason for that? You see, the enjoyment comes, or ananda can be experienced by mind, as we know that, because mind is the instrument to experience the happiness. All right. Now, this mind has many qualities. The basic quality of mind is triguna: sattva, raja, and tama. Okay. So all these trigunas are there in the mind. Here, mind with intellect as well as ego, everything you can take as andakarana. Okay. Inner instrument. Now, out of these three gunas, sattva, rajas, tama, the happiness is experienced when sattva guna is predominant. When sattva guna is active, you enjoy something. You will not have no pain or stress or anything when sattva guna is increased. So when sattva guna is predominant, then of course the rajoguna and tamoguna is reduced, or we can say it is suppressed. So the sattva guna, the rajoguna and tamoguna is suppressed by sattva guna. So that is what we experience. So when sattva guna is predominant, then you enjoy. Even when you drink a cup of tea, people say tea is rajasic. Coffee is also rajasic. It because of its after effect. Because after effect it gives something like that. But if when you are drinking coffee, if you are enjoying coffee, it means according to the Shastra, according to this theory, the sattva guna is predominant. Then only you can enjoy tea. Otherwise, while tasting tea, you will be worried. Oh, what would happen if if my BP goes high or my sugar goes high, and what would happen then? That worries are there, then you can't enjoy. Then the rajoguna and tamoguna is active. Okay, so now in all cases like that, when we eat food, if our sattva guna is active, then we enjoy food, we eat, relax our mind, and with relaxed mind and body, so we enjoy it more. So when mind and body is relaxed, you enjoy. Okay, without relaxing mind and body, you cannot enjoy anything. So we always try to relax our mind and body. This is what we are constantly doing. Correct? Now you see, what does it mean? When your mind and body is relaxed, then the sattva guna is predominant. Or vice versa. when Sattva Guna is predominant, then your mind and body is relaxed. So then you experience, you enjoy it. This is the, what you say, the theory behind enjoyment, behind experience of happiness. Okay, now we can apply this. Now you apply, whoever has more Sattva Guna, who has tried or practiced Sattva Guna with the sadhanas or meditation or with karmas, sattvika karmas, and with sattvika food. So that person has increased his Sattva Guna. So his Sattva Guna is mostly active, predominantly active. Then what would be his experience? His experience would be more happiness. He will be relaxed in his day-to-day life. Only in between, sometimes when Rajas comes and Tamas comes, he may be disturbed. Otherwise, he would be enjoying that. Okay. And there is a guarantee for this. This formula is completely, foolproof formula. It means whenever there is Sattva Guna, you will have enjoyment. Okay. So there is no other option. Even you are sick, if your Sattva Guna is increased, because mostly when our body is sick, the Tamo Guna is increased. That is what it said. Therefore, you feel heaviness, you feel dull, stress and all those. Because Tamo Guna is increased when your body is not well. Okay. So therefore, you won't enjoy that time. The enjoyment is less. And you don't feel happy that time. Okay. So now, who has practiced prolonged practice of sadhana and all these knowledges, he can change his mind whenever he needs. So he knows what thought makes him dull. He knows that this activity make me dull. So all this dullness and inactive form of body, how it comes, he knows. So he will prevent himself from those activities and from those thoughts. Okay, this is what we call as sadhana. So prevention of unnecessary activities, or we call it rajasic and tamasic activities, or rajasic and tamasic thoughts. So if those thoughts are entertained, then you will be unhappy and you can't do your sadhana, meditation and studies. So if this sattvika vritti, this sattva guna increases up to such a level where there is no chance, or we don't say no chance, but there is very less chance of rajas and tamas, then that person is enjoying. He is relaxed. So this comparison goes to gods as well, all the devatas. The gods differ from each other in respect of purity of this sattva. If Sattva Guna is pure, then they enjoy more. So their enjoyment of bliss of Brahman also differ in proportion. So that is why I said it differ suitable ratio according to the purity of Sattva. So all these Devatas in their previous birth, according to our Shastras, in their previous birth, they have done good karmas, punyas. They have did penance, tapasyas, japa, tapa, and karmas. So they got a special mind of sattva vritti. That is the difference between devatas and asuras. So asuras, they have tamasika vritti. And these devatas, they have sattvika vrittis. So this ratio of this comparison, it goes up to the creator of the world. That is called Brahma, the creator of the world. Now, the creator of the world has a mind, the best of Sattvic. It means he has a mind of Sattvic, the highest Sattvic mind, the purest Sattvic mind. Therefore, he will be enjoying the bliss for a longer time. So that is what mentioned here. So Brahmadhyaha taradamyena bhavandi anandino akhilaha. Bhavanti anandino akhilaha. All those devatas and manushya, all these human beings and devatas, all those are enjoying this bliss, the same bliss, infinite bliss of Brahman, by their suitable minds, sattvic minds. So if you can also increase your sattvika vrittis, then you will also get that enjoyment. And this all concept is discussed in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. I will just render that mantra. Esha asya paramagati, esha asya parama sambat, esho asya paramo lokaha, esho asya parama anantaha, edasyevanandasya bhutani matramupajivanti. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 4th chapter, 3rd Brahmana, 32nd mantra, Kandika. Now what does it say? Esha asya paramagatihi. This is the highest goal for him, because happiness is the highest goal for us. Every day we go to sleep. When we are asleep, we experience the highest bliss of that day, or what we can say in this world, with this body, how we can experience that direct bliss, that is experienced there. So when there is no activities of body and mind, we experience the highest goal. So for a person, the deep sleep is the highest experience of bliss. So that is said here, Esha Asya Paramagatihi. When we are asleep, we experience that bliss, and after that we say, oh, I had a good sleep, I was in bliss. So this is the satisfaction there. Esha Asya Parama Sampat. People think getting good sleep is a big success. Nowadays, people are not getting sleep. They are very disturbed with that. So it is said here, Esha Asya Parama Sambat. This is his highest success as far one day life is concerned. So if he gets, after completing his daily routine, daily works, activities, when he goes to sleep, if he gets sound sleep, complete sleep, then he thinks that, yeah, it was good. This day went on well. So this is his highest success. And then it says, Asya Paramo Logaha. So this is his highest world of enjoyment. Because in Loka, the word Loka in Sanskrit, especially in Upanishads, Loka means not only this world, but also it means enjoyment. Lokyate anubhuyate iti lokaha. Is being experienced, being enjoyed, is also called loka. So loka means enjoyment. So this is his highest world. It means highest enjoyment. Esho asya parama anandaha. This is his highest bliss. He thinks that this is my highest bliss. And that person is healthy. He has wealth. He is healthy and he is wealthy, and he is satisfied with his activities. And then he goes to sleep and he gets a good sleep. So that is called lokaha. That's called, this is the world. This is the life, what we call as the real life, what people think about always. They desire to live like that. The body is healthy and they have enough wealth, and their friends and their activities, and everything is good. So they feel very nice. So this is also discussed in Upanishads. All other, now then it says, Edasyeva anandasya anyani bhutani matram upajivanti. All other creatures lives on a small fraction of this bliss. That is what we discussed here. So tasya ananda lava ashritaha. This is directly coming from that Upanishad. Edasyeva anandasya anyani bhutani matram upajivanti. So this bliss, the bliss of Brahman, is the highest, and all other living beings, they get a fraction of that, very small amount of that bliss. Even with that, they live. They desire to live, even to enjoy that. Why we are desire to live? Why we want a long life? Because we are getting this ananda, friction of the ananda, the reflection of this ananda. So we are getting the taste of that. Therefore, we like to enjoy and again. Ko hyeva anyat kapranyat yadyesha Akasho Anando Nasyat. It's said in Taittiriya Upanishad, if that person is not enjoying the inner bliss, then why he love to live? So he is loving to live. He desire a long life because he is getting that bliss from inside. He will not love to breathe even if he is not getting the bliss there. So we are breathing because we are getting that bliss. Okay, this is the comparison of Ananda. So through this, we can imagine how Brahman is. The nature of Brahman is Ananda, and how we are going to get that experience. So the next shloka is explaining the existence of Brahma. Tadyuktamakhilam vastu vyavaharastadannitaha tasmat sarvagatam Brahma kshire sarpirivakhile. Tadyuktamakhilam vastu vyavaharastadannitaha tasmat sarvagatam Brahma kshire sarpirivakhile. Tadyuktam akhilam vastu. All whatever is there in this creation, everything is connected with that Brahman. The existence of things outside and inside, all are connected with that. This existence is provided by Brahman. Brahman is the substratum of all this existence. So tadyuktam akhilam vastu vyavaharaha tadannitaha. And the vyavahara means actions. All these actions are because of that Brahman. The actions are possible only by that Brahman. So tadannitaha. Annita means is connected with, imbued with that Brahman. Vyavaharas tadannitaha. Tasma sarvagadam Brahma. Therefore, that Brahman is all pervading, sarvagatam, is everywhere, as the base of all those. The Brahman is the base of actions. Brahman is existence, and the existence is provided by Brahman. So asti bhadi priyam. It is said in Shastras, Sat Chit Ananda. Means existence, Chit means consciousness, Ananda means bliss. So this is said asti bhadi priyam. In each object, what we see outside, experience outside, has these three forms. Asti, because that object exists, the existence. And bhati. Bhati means We know, we see that object. We cognize that object. The cognizability is there in that object. It is called bhati. Asti, existence, that object exists. Bhati means we cognize that the existence of that object. And priyam, that object attracts. Attraction is there. Priya means happiness. But happiness is how is connected? It is attracted. Like when you see a flower, that flower is attracting your mind. So then you enjoy the flower. If flower is not attractive, you can't enjoy it. Okay, so that the quality of attraction is connected to enjoyment. So asti bhati priyam. So the first, the existence, second, the cognition, and third, the attraction or the bliss. Because whatever is attracting you, you will get some enjoyment from that. So therefore, it cannot be said directly, but indirectly, attraction is enjoyment. So therefore, if these three qualities, these three forms are seen in all the objects outside, then we can say Brahman is all-pervading, Brahman is everywhere, Brahman is in each and every object. Why? Because all these three qualities are the nature of Brahman. Existence is the nature of Brahman, basic nature of Brahman. And cognition, consciousness is nature of Brahman. And bliss, of course, the nature of Brahman. Therefore, tasma sarvagadam Brahman. Then you may ask, then why we don't see that Brahman? Why we are not experiencing it? So then an example is given. You see, it's there. It's always with you. It cannot be separated. But you can't see it. You are not experiencing it. Like Kshire Sarpiriva Akhile. In the milk, in the cow milk, there is butter in that. Or ghee in that. Sarpi. But when you see milk, you won't see butter or ghee in that. You can't see it. If you want to separate the ghee from that milk, you have to go through a process. For a long process. After a long process, you will get the ghee from that very milk. The ghee is right there, but you can't see it. So, therefore, you don't think that I am not experiencing, so Brahman is not there. The experience will come after sadhanas, after a process. This process is called sadhana. Now, if the person wants to get that ghee from milk, he will definitely go through that process. There is no other way to get that ghee from milk. So as the butter is extracted from milk, ghee is extracted from milk through a process of turning. The sadhaka also experience the Brahman by sadhana. Kshire sapiriva akhile. So the experience of Brahman is always there with us. Unfortunately, our mind is distracted, diverted in many objects. Those may be real or may not be, but mind is hanging around those objects. So we give so much importance to outside objects. Therefore, the inside happiness, the inside experience is not enjoyed, or we are not aware about that experience. Now, along with this, there are so many other specialities of Brahman. So Brahman is indescribable. When the nature of Brahman is indescribable, so what we were describing is not the nature of Brahman. Actually, we are beating the bush. No, what you say is not correctly described. It cannot be described. The Brahman is indescribable, but is described with negations. So that is how Brahman is described. You cannot describe Brahman with positive qualities. So Brahman is described with negations. How those negations are, now we will see. And also, how Brahman is imperishable and how Brahman is imperceptible. It cannot be perceived. It cannot be destroyed. And how Brahman is incomparable. And that Brahman is characterized. Actually, Brahman has no character. Brahman is uncharacterized. So what we are doing is the uncharacterized Brahman. We don't know what is the character of Brahman. Brahman is uncharacterized, but we are characterizing Brahman by so many qualities. So this is called negation. Now there is, in this negation theory, there is much chance of confusion. Now, just now we said Brahman is all pervading, right? Brahman is all pervading with existence, bliss, and consciousness, all this. If Brahman is all pervading, how Brahman can be experienced by this negation theory? Because Brahman is everywhere. It means one should say this is Brahman, this is Brahman, this is Brahman, this is Brahman. All these are Brahman. This is the right way, positive way. But the scriptures say you can describe Brahman, this is. So this description is wrong. You can only describe Brahman by the methodology of negation. Negation theory. It means this is not Brahman, this is not Brahman, this is not Brahman. Okay, so this is called Neti Neti, the ultimate method of what is a sadhana, negating everything. And why this negation theory is applied? When we see Vedanta, you can see so many mantras are there in Upanishads. They describe Brahman with this negation theory. So whatever you think about Brahman, they negate it. So you think that Brahman may be subtlest. Then he said, no, Brahman is not subtle. Oh, then it may be gross, the grossest form of. No, this is that Brahman is not gross. Okay, that is also negated. Oh, then Brahman may be having good qualities, best qualities. No, Brahman has no qualities. So that also gone. Or Brahman may be doing some actions, some good actions. No, there is no action in Brahman. There is no name in Brahman. There is no qualification in Brahman. There is no relation with Brahman. So now, how you will describe Brahman? Because in normally in language, if you want to describe something, you want to say about something, first you will find the name of that object. Okay, normally what we do when we want to speak about something, we want to use language. So first we try to find the name of that object regarding which we are going to speak. Okay. So in this case, Brahman has no name. Even this name as Brahman is a nickname. It's not a real name. Okay. So this is because with that the character of Brahman is called Brahman. Brahman is all pervading. Brihatvat Brahma. This is what it says. Brahman is biggest. It's bigger than sky, bigger than space. Therefore, it's called Brahman. Okay. So that is not the name of Brahman. And then if you want to talk about something, you will find some qualities, some guna. Then you can talk about it. So we praise gunas or deny some qualities. That is how we talk about it. And if that is not there, then one will find some action. Like when we are trying to talk about a driver. So we say he is driver. Driver means he is driving. He is doing an action. It's called driving. So he's a driver. So with that also we can use language. So driver is good or driver is bad or he drives well. So all those you can say. If that is also not there, because Brahman has no action. Brahman is not driving. Brahman is not doing anything. So we can't apply an action, attribute an action on Brahman, which really he does. So there is no action in Brahman. Akriya. So okay, if quality is not there, action is not there, name is not there, that's okay. We don't know the name, we don't know the action, we don't know the quality. Then what we can do is we can find some relation. So we know a person, but we don't know the name and what he does and all those, but we know the relation. You can say he's my friend's friend, or he's my cousin's friend. or he is my, so and so something. So some relation you can find, and that person is identified, then you can talk about. Now Brahman has no relation. Brahman is not having any relation with anybody, anything. Why? Because it is said asango hyayam purushaha. Brahman is totally unattached. So that you cannot find a relation with anything. Like the space has no relation. Space is everywhere, but space has no relation with any object. Asanka. So, okay, if that is also not possible, then what next? There is a last chance. It's called qualification, Vishesha. So you qualify with something. Like now we say there are 5 things. So this 5, the number we use, is a qualification. So what we see in front are 5 or 2 or 10 or something like that. Or with the weight, gravity, we can say it's 1 kg or 2 kg or all those. Or such qualification you can add, like big, small, subtle, gross, all these are qualifications. And in Brahman, these qualifications are not there. Brahman cannot be qualified. So there is no quality, there is no speciality that we can point out and say this is Brahman. So there is no speciality. Now what about existence, consciousness and bliss? These are not the speciality of Brahman? No. These are not the speciality of Brahman. These 3 consist Brahman as. Brahman is these 3. It means these 3 are not the qualifications of Brahman or quality of Brahman or action of Brahman or relation of Brahman, but these 3 is equal to Brahman. So in this regard, the next sloka comes. The 60th sloka. But this sloka is also connected to, I can say, the summary of another portion from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 3rd chapter, 8th Brahmana is called Acharya Brahmana, 8th mantra. Your beautiful mantra, which so many negations. There are 20, I think, 25 negations are there. This is not Brahma, this is not Brahma. I just chant that. It will be interesting to hear how they negate all these qualities. No, whatever I just mentioned you, guna, kriya, nama, vishesha, quality, action, name, qualification, relation, and everything is negated in 25 words. Sahovaja etadvaitadaksharam garge Brahmana abhivatandya stulamananu hraswamadirghamalohidamasneham Achayamatamो avayuanagasamasangamarasamagandham achashtushkam asrotramavagamano tejaskama-pranamamukham amatramanandaramavahyam nadadasnadi kinchana nadadasnadi kaschana. This was memorized much before. Now I just little bit forgot, but we all memorized this stance because this completely negates all the qualities. Now, the story is in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. You know, in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is a chapter is called the third chapter of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. There is a debate between Yajnavalkya and other rishis. There are 9 rishis, or actually 8 rishis. So Yajnavalkya is Brahmajnani. Now his Brahmajnana is questioned by those rishis. There happened to be a yajna in the state of Janaka. So Janaka conducted a yajna, a very big yajna. And in that yajna, he invited all those rishis, sages, jnanis, because in those days, when such yajnas and all these functions happen, they invite all these sages to bless that event. So in this contest, the king Janaka invited all those big rishis, sages. So they were all gathered there. Then before that, the yajna, no, it was the beginning of yajna. Janaka got a doubt. Oh, he desired to know. All those so many sages are here. They are all respected sages. Among these sages, is there anybody is Brahmajnani? So if anybody is Brahmajnani, I want to know. Now the problem is, you cannot just ask anybody, are you Brahmajnani? Then raise the hand. No, you cannot say that. It's not possible. So what he did, he said he kept 1,000 cows, 1,000 cows, and then he declared in that gathering that I have kept 1,000 cows. Among you people, you sages, if anybody is Brahmajnani, he is eligible to take those cows to his ashram. So that is what he declared. Now they have to decide. No, each person, no, they have to decide who is Brahmajnani. So that their responsibility. He has kept all these cows, and then he did that, declare this in that gathering. So there was hala hula. No, everybody is asking who is going to declare that Brahmajnani, who is Brahmajnani, and they were seeing each other and like that. Then Yajnavalkya Rishi was also present there with his disciples. And he waited for maybe for half an hour, 1 hour. He thought someone may declare that I am Brahmajnani, I am taking these cows. So nobody declared that. So then Yajnavalkya thought, okay, this is not going to happen. So let me take all these cows. So he calls his brahmachari, one of his disciples, who was studying Samaveda. So Samashrava, he calls. So the brahmachari comes and then he says, oh, Samashrava, my dear, you take all these cows to our ashram. No, we need cows there because we have a big Ved Pathshala there. So many students are there. They need milk and butter, ghee and all those. So let us take this cow. So you can lead these cows to our ashram. Oh, when then he declared like this. So what does it mean? It means he's Brahmajnani. And he says, we need cow, so we are leading it. And then all this debate starts. So who were gathered there, they asked, how can you say you are Brahmajnani? No, what is the proof for that? So then he says, Yajnavalkya says, you see, I salute, I prostrate to all Brahmajnanis. I need these cows for my ashram, so I am taking it. If there is a Brahmajnani, I am prostrating, I am doing salutations. That is what he said. He never said, I am Brahmajnani. So that was done. Then he said, if you have any doubt, you can ask. That is how the debate starts. Because now he is not declaring that he is Brahmajnani, but what he did is showing that he is a Brahmajnani. Now he will not say I am Brahmajnani. If he says that, then it will go wrong. It is not correct to say I am Brahmajnani, because no Brahmajnani will declare himself as Brahmajnani. So that was the situation. Now, what Yajnavalkya said, you can ask questions. If you have any doubt about Brahmajnana or Brahma or anything, you can ask. So then the sages, among those, first the Ashwala, the royal priest of Janaka, he asked some questions about Karma Kanda, and then it goes like that. Then among those sages, there was a lady sage called Gargi. Okay, among those sages, it is said that Gargi was Avadhutini. She was a big jnani in those days. Okay, being a lady, she was jnani, that we can say. So she asked questions. Twice she asked, and this is where the second question is answered. So it's about Akshara Brahma. Akshara Brahma, this, what you say, imperishable Brahman, the infinite Brahman. So she is asking about that. This is what I just rendered. That portion is the answer of that question. Sahovacha. So that Yajnavalkya said to Gargi, Edadvaitadaksharam Gargi. O Gargi, this is what that indescribable, imperishable Brahman. This is what that. Brahmanaha abhivadanti. Knowers of Brahman say like this. He is not saying that I am saying this. He is saying the knowers of Brahman say like this. What about this Brahman? Astulam. Brahman is that it is neither gross nor subtle, ananu, neither gross nor subtle, neither short nor long, neither red nor moist, neither shadow, neither darkness, neither ether, neither air, unattached. It's always unattached. So neither eyes, neither ear, nor mind. It's like that. It goes like that. It is non-illuminous, without prana, without mind, without measurement, without organ of speech, without exterior, without interior, all this, so many things. And then it says, na tadasnadi kinchana. You don't think that it eats everything. No, it doesn't destroy anything. It does not eat anything, and nor it is eaten by anything. It does not eat anything, and nor it is eaten by anything. Nada asnadi kinchana, nada asnadi kaschana. So this is how that Brahman is. If you want to know, you know like this. So this is very famous because this negation theory is well established in these words of Yajnavalkya. So after knowing this, the lady sage, Gargi, she accepts that this Yajnavalkya is Brahmajnana. So then she declares in, you see, in that big gathering, in that royal ground, she declares that, you see, if you ask more questions or you debate with this sage Yajnavalkya, you are all going to be defeated. Defeat is ensured. Why? Because I have asked such questions that nobody can answer those questions if he is not Brahmajnani. So I am confirmed. I say that he is Brahmajnani. So you all respected sages, you accept him as Brahmajnani and leave him off. Then that is better. That is what she declares. It means she was so powerful in that gathering and everybody respects her. So that is the story of Gargi. So this part is called Akshara Brahmana. So now the 60th sloka is connected with this, the summary of this part. So that we will see in next session, because now we have completed with all the stories and time is also over. Okay. Yeah, over to you for the questions. I can take one question. Yeah. Please go on.
Hariom Swamiji. I have a question based on today's class. I have two parts, the same question. When fullness can't be divided, how can we get the proportional part of Ananda? And also the reason mentioned that Ananda is always experienced at the mind level, which is Trigunatmikam, and depending on the proportional portion of the Sattvic Guna only, we are getting the proportion. But then when it is fullness cannot be divided, how that is possible? Then my subsequent question of the same thing is, in the deep sleep we get the highest Ananda, and deep sleep is always happens when Tamoguna is more prominent, then only the sleep we can get it. But when we are saying that the Sattvic Guna is higher, then we are getting the proportional thing. So a little bit of a disconnect from the three steps I am just saying. I just request your clarification, please.
Yeah. So now the first thing is this comparison or the proportion is not because of that Purnata. Purnata is not disturbed. This proportion comes by the instrument through which that is received. You got the point? We can see the example like sunlight is everywhere. Okay. Imagine that the sunlight is Purnam, is complete. But if you want to reflect the sunlight, you need an instrument. If you put a glass or what you say, the mirror, then the reflection will come to that. Okay. So we can say the sunlight is reflecting. While sunlight is reflecting, is there any disturbance in the sunlight outside, the sunlight outside? No. So the sunlight is not made partial. It is not divided. It is not disturbed. You only put that instrument, is naturally reflected. The same example from space. Like space is everywhere. It is subtlest existence, what we call a space. How space is divided? Space is divided with the with the walls, with the forms, like the inside the room. Space is divided. But space is divided because of the walls of the room, the surrounding walls. But actually, space cannot be divided. Correct? Space is complete. Because if you want to make space incomplete, you have to break space. It cannot be break. It is always one and the same. So this is how Purnam cannot be divided. So the undivided Purnam, undisturbed Purnam is reflected in special instruments as mind, intellect, and all those. In that instrument, the speciality of instruments is called Sattva Vritti. Because if your mirror is clear, without dirty, then the light will clearly reflect. Similarly, if the mind is clear with Sattvic Guna, then the experience of Atma, experience of Ananda, experience of Jnana will be higher. Okay? So, is this point is clear?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So now this next thing is about Sushupti. So now Sushupti is known as Tamasika Sthiti because Nidra, sleep, is Tamas. That's what we know. Is right. Sleep is Tamasol. Okay. Why it is Tamas? Because the body is inactive, mind is inactive, sense organs are inactive, and this body is completely resting. It means it has no activities. The heaviness, the feeling of heaviness there in the body. That is correct, that sleep is tamasol, or we can say the form of tamas, or the production of tamas, or whatever. When tamasika vritti is there, tamasika guna is predominant, you get sleep. But that is according to the theory of tamas, that tamas is negating, or tamas is not supporting jnana. Therefore, it's called tamas. It will not support jnana. And the body has that problem. Like if you have sickness, then you have tamas, just now I said. Okay. Now you see here what happens. Now the enjoyment, the happiness what you are experiencing is not from your body. Right? This happiness is created from where? The happiness is created from your body, physical body? No, you can't say that. Is this happiness is created from the mind which is sleeping? No. Is this happiness is created from the ego which is again asleep? No. So you see, where tamas is predominant in this body, mind, ego, and sense organs, this happiness is not created from there. right? You accept this?
I accept that, but when mind is not there in Sushupti,
I
Sattva
have
Guna
not
also not
completed the answer. I
there.
have
Okay.
not completed the answer.
Yes.
So you see, now you cannot say that body is creating the happiness or mind is creating, because they are sleeping. Okay. Even by scientific proof that you can say this is not created from there. Now, but you see, now body is not creating, mind is not creating, ego is not creating, sense organs are not creating that happiness. What is left there? Only Atma. Okay, because this body mind complex is controlled by, or the life in that body mind is Atma only. So if this body mind and all those are not creating that happiness, then what is left is Atma. So the Atma is there. And that the happiness of Atma or the bliss of Atma is experienced. Now that's the point. That's the crucial point, or what is the main point of discussion. Is that is experience. Now Atma has the bliss and body is sleeping, and in between we are calling it, it is an experience. Okay. Then what is there? How we experience? So there it is said, since the Atma, since this person is alive, the sleeping, who is sleeping, he is alive, no? He is not dead. So what does it mean? He is alive means in his mind, in some part of his mind, the reflection of consciousness is there. Therefore, he is alive. If that is not there, he will be declared dead. Correct?
Yes.
So that in which part that consciousness is reflected, we call it Sattvika part of mind. Because only in Sattvika part of mind, consciousness can be reflected, or the experience of consciousness can come. Okay, this is the theory. As the mirror, only the mirror can reflect the light. The smooth surface can reflect the light. So, similarly, the consciousness can be reflected only in that subtle part of Sattvika Vritti. So therefore, he is alive, he is having that consciousness without other vrittis, other activities of mind. But this reflection is happening in that Sattvika Vritti. Therefore, he is experiencing happiness there. Because all other parts are there. All other parts are sleeping. So all other activities, tamas, rajasic, and other activities, even ego is sleeping. So, but this subtlest form of mind is getting that reflection, that experience. So it is called Sattvika Vritti. Therefore, we can say undoubtedly, where there is happiness, there is Sattvika Vritti. When there is happiness, the Sattva is predominant. Without that, is not possible.
So I understood up to the last point. So just that last point, little clarification. When in the deep sleep, our mind is dormant, it means that actually none of the trigunas are dormant there, including the Sattvic guna.
Yeah,
it is almost like a triguna.
tamas and rajas is dormant.
Sattvic guna also not there, right? When the mind is dormant.
No, that's what is said. The Sattvika guna, it's in the subtle form of mind,
Okay.
is there without vrittis,
Okay.
without other activities. So this is very important to know.
Okay.
Because sleep means the absence of mind activities. Okay, if we call it like that. Abhava pratyaya alambana vrittir nidra. That is what Yoga Sutra says. Okay, absence of all activities of mind. Now, that is okay. So other activities are not there. You are not remembering anything or like that. But the basic reflection of consciousness is still there with this subtlest form of sattvika vritti. That we can call it as the subtlest part of mind, from where mind gets consciousness. So mind is consciousness because of this sattvika vritti. So that is there. And in that sattvika vritti, there cannot be any action, because actions are brought by rajasika vritti, or what we say call the activities of mind, the objective activities of mind. Now, if there is no object, there is no activity, therefore, what is left is sattvika vritti only. So from there it comes, increases, and all these experiences we have from there.
Please,
Okay.
Swami, thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Harihi Om.
Yes, Swamiji, another question connected to this. Whether this
So
Swatik...
that we will take next time, because we have
just
more
one minute,
to
because
study.
Swamiji, just because this is that Sattvic Vritti, whether it is connected with the Chittam, because Chittam is there in the mind, in the Bijavastha of the mind. So whether this Sattvic Vritti...
I can say in Chittam or in mind or anywhere, because I use the word mind for in general. No,
okay.
It includes all things. So it is there, because we have to accept that that body is alive. Now the question comes, how the body is alive? Without mind or without what is a brain activity, body cannot be alive. No, according to the science also is like that. If there is no brain activity, the body is dead. So there is some activity, some reflection, something is going on. So that particular point is giving this experience as well, the experience of happiness, relaxation. If that is not there, you cannot experience. You will not remember anything there. After getting up in the morning, you will not say, I had a good sleep. No, you will say, no, I don't know what happened and how it happened, and there was no experience. But nobody has this experience. All say, I had a good sleep and I was very happy and I am relaxed, and all these memories stored there. So it means there was some brain activity. So that 0.5, no, the verbs, they say that activity is there. So that is Sattva Guna. Therefore, you are experiencing the bliss, according to the Vedanta. Science doesn't say this. There is a consciousness and reflection, all these theories, this is our theory. But the practical thing that you can see is there is some point of activity in brain. The basic activities are there. Okay. So thank you all. Harihi Om. Om Purnamataha Purnamitam Purnat Purnamadasyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi